Well, hello guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I'm Tobani Vumendada.
And I'm Muhlali Muzani.
And this is
Refining Perspectives.
We're back to you with you for another great episode of Refining Perspectives. And today, just as we did last week, we are going to be bringing you another fun and, informative conversation.
Absolutely.
And I just want to urge you, as you're watching at home, to go onto our YouTube page, because that's where the conversation continues. And please do subscribe, and we will be definitely going on and touching on other episodes, on other topics as time goes on.
Absolutely.
So make sure that you follow us on our social media platforms. We're also available on Instagram as
Refining Perspectives.
That's it. That's it. Well, without wasting no time, let's jump straight into today's episode.
Good day, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Refining Perspectives. As Tobani had said, he was not alone. I am not alone. I am with
Tobani Vumendaba.
Absolutely. So, bro, we are here to admit some news. And the news that we're going to admit today is that last week we were talking about a topic that was very sensitive to us. And we quoted
Merriam-Webster.
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes, the quote from her, which was our deepest fear. It's not that we are inadequate, but we are powerful beyond measure. And what that really means to me, ladies and gentlemen who are tuned in, is that, deep down, we all have a sense of self-doubt as people. And it's either that we show up for ourselves, Toban, or we will end up succumbing to the status quo or the mediocrity that is external.
Okay.
So now that, I don't know if we're gonna read it and then jump straight to the topic, because today, guys, we'll be talking about your self-image. Do you have a positive self-image or do you have a negative self-image? And
maybe that's a great way even to start it off.
Yeah.
For maybe even the viewer at home to ask yourself, what kind of self-image do you have?
Yeah.
Or do we even usually take some time to think about the kind of self-image that
we
I
have? And some at home is asking themselves, what is the self-image? Self-image is the perception that you have of yourself. How do you see yourself? Because how you see yourself determines how you relate with other people, and it determines how you perceive the world. Your worldview is together from your self-image and the way that you perceive yourself.
So now you're bringing a concept now, because if you say that how you view the world, then depends on the self-concept or image idea that you have of yourself. Then that means if you've got a messed up self-image, a negative self-image of who you are, then the way that you'll react, you'll even end up sometimes thinking that the world is against you. Simply because you have a negative
Do me a favor.
Self-image.
Take your phone, take your selfie camera, and right? And try to take a selfie. It will be blurry, it won't be clear. And that example I'll draw, it's the lens. So how we see ourselves determines how we see the world as well. So now if you've got a blurry self-image, whatever that you will try to live out and really,
your self-image becomes almost like a lens through which you see the world and interact with the world.
Absolutely.
So a messed up self-image is a messed up lens. So therefore the image that you're going to see of the world will in turn be messed up.
Exactly. And now what does that do? That will then, condition your behavior. Your behavior will be behavior that is negative towards the world. Your attitude, before we get to the behavior, even when you wake up in the morning, you'll be someone who's already defeated in terms of your mindset. You'll be someone who's already lazy. You'll be someone who has a laid-back, chilled, settle for less mindset. Yeah, bro.
And I'm just thinking, bro, I'm sorry to interject.
Absolutely.
You sent me a video.
Yeah.
And I'm just quite intrigued about how that video ties into what you're talking
about now, yeah.
Because that video, we were talking about passivity.
Yeah.
And, you know, how it's able to you find yourself that you are part of the status quo.
Yeah.
And even when you actually you are able to do great things, but because of passivity, you end up now just getting stuck. And I'm just trying to tie that into the self-image that you have, because it can create that.
That's true.
Because perhaps maybe someone else perceives and sees that you're actually great and you can do great things, but because you don't see that in yourself, when you wake up in the morning and you know that there are multiple things that you should be doing or you could be doing, you decide rather to stay in.
Absolutely. And you know what, Tobbs? What then this negative self-image that one could have of themselves does is that you always see yourself from a position of lack. You don't see yourself as a contributor. So you always want to receive. You know, even when you wake up in the morning, you know, you're already receiving energy. There's no energy that you're bringing into the world. So what does that mean? That means that now circumstance and condition externally determine the course of your life, determine the course of your day. Meaning that the decisions that you make even are not the decisions that you own, but those are decisions that have been made for you.
Because you are this person who has a terrible self-image, which then usually will lead you to becoming someone that is passive. But here's the thing about life. You can't live yet not make decisions. So if you're passive about making decisions, life will make decisions for you.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing.
And remember, there's a book that we love reading, and it speaks of an image. And it says that we were created in God's image. Right? And then after it spoke of the image, it then speaks of dominion. Meaning that now dominion, which is authority over,
it's preceded by knowing and understanding your self-image.
Absolutely.
And perhaps even really to echo what you are saying, in fact, it's quite detrimental to have dominion, yet not have basis of knowing your self-image.
And absolutely, I don't even think that you could ever have dominion without having a positive self-image or understanding or knowing, being aware of your self-image. Because, Toban, that means you will just be a vessel of another authority, or you will be a vessel. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Even
as you're talking, it's
because
a light bulb.
It means that you do not have ownership you can.
This, for me, as you were talking, it kind of comes back and highlights one of the problems that we are having today.
Absolutely.
Where you find with the majority of us as people, especially as young people, we have a sheepish mentality. I'm sorry to put it like that. Where you find that media, celebrities hates to us because we have not yet got to an understanding of our self-image through God's eyes, and therefore understand what we have dominion. Then we easily adjudicate that dominion to other people, and we, as you said, become vessels. It's easy to be dictated unto. It's easy to follow the status quo.
Exactly. And you know what, Toban? Many of us will end up living lives that we did not own. Living lives that we cannot account for because certain ideas and concepts and systems live through us instead of us being the ones who were influencing them and having power and dominion over them.
Now, bro, I think let's come back.
Sorry. I mean,
let's come back. Come back to the definition. We found the definition of self-image. And it reads as follows. What is the meaning of self-image? As you might imagine, self-image is related to what you see when you look in the mirror. However, it goes much deeper than that.
Absolutely.
Self-image refers to how we see ourselves on a more global level, both internally and externally. And just to pause it there, Mugeli, I'm just thinking about perhaps maybe, just maybe, one of the reasons why we are so obsessed with how we look externally, it is because we are failing to actually deal with how we look internally.
Absolutely.
So we put so much emphasis on how we look externally. Because when we look at ourselves externally, we see what there is something that is out of place. And the first place that is, I think, maybe easier for us to deal with is our external image.
Which is not fulfilling.
It's not fulfilling.
It's not fulfilling. I know.
And it becomes hard work, because what I've found out is that once you are able to work on your internal, it will automatically bleed out to your external. So now you find that we are putting so much work trying to fit in, trying to do things that please even other people, but at the same time we are not, content. We are not fulfilled within.
And then, bro, I think with that being said, I mean, you were so defining,
to continue on, it then continues and says, the Random House Dictionary defines self-image as, it is the idea, conception, or mental image one has of one's self. And then it says, self-image is how you perceive yourself. It is a number of self-impressions that have built up over time. These self-images can be very positive, giving a person confidence in their thoughts and actions, or negative, making a person doubtful of their capabilities and ideas. And I want you to hold it, bro. Yes, because we are going to just take a
short break.
Awesome. And when we come back, we are going to be continuing with this segment.
In a world where there's so much information, do we know what shapes our ideas? Join Lebo and Buhlali on Refining Perspectives exclusive, talking leadership and more on Tuesdays on Radio 537.
Welcome back. This is Refining Perspectives. Well, just before the break, bro, we were talking about some of the implications of having a low image, or rather a negative self-image, and how it actually that manifests itself in our lives, and how we see that one of the problems that we have today, especially as young people, it is a low self-image that then leads us to becoming these people who have a sheepish mentality, where we just follow blindly everything just because it's in trend, even though we know that it's not even any good in our lives.
Absolutely.
So we were just reading there the definition of self-image that we took from the Random House Dictionary, and it reads as follows, just to reiterate it. Self-image is how you perceive yourself. It is a number of self-impressions that have built up over time. Then it says, these self-images can be very positive, giving a person confidence in their thoughts and actions. Or they can be negative, making a person very doubtful of their capabilities and their own ideas.
So, Tobes, it says that our self-image is built over time through the impressions that we've had of ourselves. So now we have said, but most of us, we are not really consciously aware. So that means that we operate like with this sheepish mentality of being passive, of not really being critical thinkers in our minds in terms of how we see ourselves. So now, how those impressions build over time, is that who we are is not shaped by us, but is shaped by the experiences that we've been through. So you'll find that everyone has been through a lot. We know that even in 2020, there's so much that has happened in everyone's life. So now, one thing that, because we were not aware or conscious of our minds, the one thing that robbed us of was the ability to decide on the spot
when those experiences shape us.
How they shape us. So now how that happens is that when an event occurs that is traumatic in any way in our lives, what happens is that an emotion is triggered. from that emotion being triggered, when we don't decide what we make of that feeling, that feeling then stays and it becomes it then becomes a mood. Yeah, but that's why people will say I'm not in the mood.
I'm not in the mood.
If man say a mood it consists over 24 hours. A mood is, you can't say a mood is 1 minute. No, a mood is more longer than an emotion that you feel in an instant, right? So an emotion is instant. A mood can last for a period of time, more of like a day or 3 days. After that day, it becomes a temperament. Now, this
is how we smazingalan.
Yeah, smazingalan. So yeah, that's a temperament. Yeah. So now, if man say it's on a bi-weekly basis, or after a temperament, it becomes a personality trait. Ne?
So now it's embedded into who you are.
In your identity.
To such a point that even if I describe Ubuhlali, I will never leave out but
yeah, but that if man say it was an event in your life that triggered that, but you did not get a chance to decide, you know.
So I think what you're basically then doing and helping the viewer at home and myself is trying to trace back with it. How do we get to this point of sometimes having this negative self-image? And I think sometimes we don't consider it as a negative self-image. Make an example. You know, we're having this conversation just before we shot. Sometimes to make an example, you're going to say, I know I'm a shy person. Only to find out that there was such an experience, an incident that took place perhaps maybe when you were in primary school and you were embarrassed because you raised your hand and then you answered the wrong answer confidently. So then now you say that I'm a shy person, I'm not an outspoken person, just because of that
incident.
And today, people know you as a shy person. People know you as a person who cannot speak in front of other people. That now has been inbuilt within your character. And then you start to doubt yourself even when you are faced with situations whereby you need to stand and speak in front of people. All because of that negative self-image that was built on a negative incident that happened once.
Over your life.
Now the question would be, what do I do?
What do I do? So I think the first thing is, if you could read that quote again by Umamu Miriam.
Can
we read that quote? And guys, when Tobani is reading that quote, I want you to just internalize what he's reading so that we can really come into the solution part of refining perspectives.
Welcome, Polapoli. You're still tuned in to Refining Perspectives and you're watching with Tobani Vumendaba.
And I am Mohlale Muzani.
Well, I also want to let the viewers know, while we're still going to this poem by Miriam Williamson, that we are available on Radio 537.
Yes, absolutely.
Each and every Tuesdays, that's where you can find the exclusive podcast. And we have a very, very, very special person that you'll meet when you go there and listen to Refining Perspectives exclusive on Radio 537. It's an online radio. You can just search it and you'll find it. Let me just find it here. So it says, okay, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in every one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people the permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others as well.
And you know, bro, quite frankly, last week we were talking about freedom. And now here we are talking about how you set yourself free from your negative self-image that you have of yourself. And I think the first point is for us to understand that each and every one of us have that light that exists within us, right? We do have that value that is intrinsic, that cannot be taken away from you, but now you find that like,
and I'm sorry again.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll find that you are the one who covers up that light.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The light is within you.
Yeah.
But because you're so insecure, you have this negative perception of yourself.
Absolutely.
Rather than letting the light shine, you cover it up. Because I'm afraid that if I allow the light that is within me to shine, I'll be ostracized. So then this negative self-image creates some sort of a cycle where you are stuck in one place, and the only life that you can live with no success at all is a life of being mediocre, fitting in, and just being part of the status quo.
No, absolutely.
And I'm just thinking, Guguti, for someone who's going to say, bro, touching on the fact that you all have this light. And for me, when we're talking about having the light that has been given to us, that speaks to even the power that you also have. You talked about this earlier on, Guguti. One of the things that we are robbed of when those experiences happen in the moment, it is choosing. But we do have later on the power to choose how that experience shapes you. How do I do that today? Talking about something that happened to me 10 years ago. How do I then make sure that what happened to me 10 years ago doesn't affect me negatively and shape negatively my self-image?
So first and foremost, I think it really comes to the first thing that Goku was offline. You spoke about being consciously aware. I think it speaks of being aware of yourself first. When you start becoming aware of yourself, you start becoming aware of toxic things that you have, addictions that you may have, destructive habits.
You stop that thing of that you like to do with you are toxic. Eliminate toxic friends.
But you start to identify toxic things within yourself. I'm telling you, you start seeing that the only person that's impeding your growth and your progress is yourself.
More than it being other people.
So now you take the responsibility, that we've spoken of here. Responsibility. So now, then when you start doing that, Tobani, you start seeing parts of yourself that like are negative and all of that. But don't run away. Take that as an opportunity to dig deep and find an opportunity to heal. Take it as an opportunity to go and heal. How? The practicality of that. For me personally, may differ from other people. What I could prescribe is go back and feel that feeling. Remember being ashamed there.
But that's the thing that we are running away from. Because I'm running away from feeling what I felt. So now you're telling me what I must go back and feel. Because I think one of the reasons why we are even afraid to do what we call an introspection of ourselves, having that moment to really find some of your own negative traits, is because of that exact thing. But sometimes you think, what happened to me really? It hit me.
And
so
it's
now
dark.
Feeling that it's a dark place. But I think then that is actually what you are saying for me.
When we conquer that,
100%.
because philosophers will say that like there's a beast within you, and that beast is what will end up living out this negative self-image. But once you conquer that beast in your isolation, in your quiet place, and I always say this to people as well, Tobani, healing is not a group activity. It needs you alone, to intentionally go down to those scars that are deep, and really, just really feel those emotions. And once you feel those emotions, it's what you decide to become from there on.
From then moving
Who
forward.
you decide to become from then on. Will that shape you, or will you, determine your course?
Wow. Wow. Well, ngempulampula uzivele, ubukele ekhaya uzivele. You need to be able to go back and feel what perhaps maybe you have been afraid of feeling. And sometimes leave that space of comfortability. You know, one person once said, Ogoti, the space of comfort is very nice, but unfortunately, nothing ever grows from there.
Absolutely.
So you need to move sometimes and be kulandao leo you don't feel comfortable dealing with some of your own negative events, negative incidents that took place in the past and dealing with them decisively and then deciding from today on I will not allow that to shape me.
Absolutely.
But this is the decision that I make. And it may differ for you, but for us, I believe we find our strength in the Word. We find our strength in God. So, Mpulapuli now, man, take your time and find out what is going on in your life. What are some of the things that are impeding you from succeeding? Because as Ubuhlali said, more than it being someone else, the person that is your most important and the first source of sabotage, it is yourself. So I hope that you have a very, very blessed evening as you're watching this. And up until next time, go serve your King.